good afternoon, Jordan. It's so great to see you. How are you this afternoon?
Great. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. It's a Tuesday, right? And we're getting through the
Yes,
week, and that's all that matters. And have you already had a busy start to your week?
we have. We've had in-services last couple of days, so we've been jam-packed filled with our schedules. So
It
yeah.
is back to school time, right? Here we
Yes.
go.
Yep.
Well, it looks like a very lovely day where you are, so I'm sure you're grateful for that.
It's very hot.
Oh,
We're like an index heat weather right now.
oh my goodness. Wow,
Yes.
that's something else. Well,
Yep.
thank you again for joining us. And here on Rare Awareness Radio today with us is Jordan Kruse. And Jordan, tell us where you're coming from right now.
Yeah. So I am from Lenox, South Dakota.
Mhm.
Very small town. I've lived here my entire life.
It's really cool. The time that you and I were chatting, I had mentioned to you that I had been to North Dakota, and you were
Yeah.
already like embracing the North versus South rivalry.
Yes. Yes.
That's exciting. That's exciting. To start off, maybe Jordan, let's level set a little bit. Would you mind just telling us a little bit more about your family, about yourself? Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about Pruitt and his story and OTC deficiency, and there's a lot of ground to cover here. But I always love to start with just you in your own words, telling us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm from South Dakota. I've lived here my entire life. My husband is also from Lenox, so we were high school sweethearts. We are both teachers
Okay.
in our school district, and we have three boys.
Wow.
Paxton is our oldest son. He turns 8 this September, and he's going into the second grade, starting tomorrow.
Wow.
And then Pryor is our rebel child. He's 3. He's like pure definition of redhead. We love him though. He's great. He keeps us on our toes. And then our youngest child is Pruitt.
Right.
And yeah, he was born on the 17th of last year.
That's wonderful. Wow. I love how you say that Pryor is the true redhead. That's amazing. That's
He is.
yeah. And so I'm sure all of that keeps you pretty busy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Good. Maybe another great thing that you might do for us, Jordan, is we've had some folks on the show before, people that you and I have in common that have talked a little bit about OTC deficiency. But maybe would you mind kind of talking about OTC deficiency a little bit for folks that just don't know what that means?
Yeah. So essentially, it is a rare X-linked genetic disorder that essentially affects the body's ability to eliminate ammonia through the urea cycle.
And of course, we all know that's extremely toxic, right?
Yes.
So, yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
And most people, when they think of OTC, they think that it's detrimental to the liver, which is true, but it's extremely toxic to the brain as well.
Wow, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And so many of the moms and dads that we talk to, the caregivers, the care partners, the care providers, one of the things that they often talk about is sort of the navigation of the healthcare system and the diagnosis process, and how you kind of got from, wow, something's not right here as a mom or a dad, I'm realizing something's not right, to, okay, now we have a diagnosis and we know, necessarily what the issue is. That journey for you folks and advocating for Pruitt, I know that's something that you gave a lot of your cycles to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was born on the 17th of 2024. Pregnancy was, pretty typical. I had gestational diabetes. That was really the only complication. He had a little bit of a dilated kidney, but my middle child also had that. And that resolved on its own. So at birth, he was healthy. He passed his newborn screening. All his checks, vitals, all those things were looking great. And at that point, he was nursing fine. I mean, this was my third kiddo, so like I kind of knew what to watch.
You know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a vet.
Yeah. So we were discharged on the 19th.
Okay.
That day. And again, he was still doing fine at that point. We went home. The only nervousness that I had about going home was how my other two boys were going to respond to, being siblings to another baby. I wasn't too concerned about my oldest, but like I told you, my 3-year-old, he's a little troublemaker. So I wasn't quite sure how he'd respond to Pruitt, but they like from the start were just so wonderful with
Big
him.
brothers right off the bat.
Yeah. It was like, honestly, like the calm before the storm. Like we had family over. We watched a movie that night. Boys went to bed perfectly. Like it was like bliss until it wasn't.
Like, how is this so easy? And then no, it wasn't.
So then after the boys went to bed, Chris and I kind of had our time together just to kind of settle in. And at that point he was still nursing fine. But then things kind of progressed where he refused to latch. And that was our first, like, okay, this is weird.
It's different.
Because I had breastfed both my other two boys. And I mean, sometimes babies, can refuse it a little bit. So we attempted the bottle and he took a little, but not a lot. So I was a little concerned at first, but I'm like, okay, let's give it another shot. And he still refused again. And then things started to progress where he started making these uncomfortable breathing noises. And that's when we're like, okay, this isn't normal. So we brought him to the ER at that point.
And you mentioned how, you were a veteran mom, right? So you were a veteran in terms of lactation and breastfeeding. So seems like, it really happened very quickly for you folks.
Like it seems like a lot happened, but it was in a very short amount of time. And
did you feel though that you had to advocate a lot for Pruitt at that time with the health care that you were getting, or were they responsive? Were they able to kind of help you kind of work through it pretty fairly, I guess, without limited complications?
So when we went into the ER, like they were really quick about responding to him. They were drawing labs, trying to get an IV in, like doing all the things. His temp was low at that point. So they immediately started going the sepsis route. And so they essentially thought they were suspecting some kind of viral or bacterial infection of some sort. And so once they kind of got things under wraps, we then were sent to the peds floor. And at that point, they wanted to run a CT on him. And so my husband brought him to CT while I was kind of getting things settled in. Because at that point, I needed to like pump. So it just seemed smart for him to go and I do my thing.
Kind of divide and conquer, right?
Divide and conquer. And at that point, he ended up coding and had to be intubated on the way there. So I missed out on that whole aspect of things, but Chris made it sound like they were all very quick and prepared for that for the most part. But we were still just getting everything that was coming back was fine. So then we're like, okay, what's going on?
I get it. You really just still trying to get your head around it, right?
We didn't know what was going on. I mean, he was very sick, but we just didn't know what was making him sick. And so we went in technically early morning of the 20th, around like 3 or 4 a.m. And about 2 days later, the 22nd is when they consulted genetics. So when genetics stepped in, that's when they ordered an ammonia lab.
Unwind this a little bit more, right?
Yes. So that would be my only like thing that I feel like I want to preach as like a parent of a child with OTC or any urea cycle disorder is that ammonia labs need to be drawn earlier, because for him, we had that 2-day delay and his numbers were over 1,200 and a regular value is under 72.
Oh my gosh.
And like we talked about earlier, those elevated numbers in an ammonia can be very detrimental to the brain. And we saw that on his multiple MRIs that we had taken. So
one of the things that I always am just Jordan, in such awe of as a person who is just, out here trying to raise awareness and advocate, is, families like yours, when tragedy strikes, you don't just say, well, we have to take care of ourselves and we're going to stay insular here and we're just going to focus on the Kruse family. Folks like you are just so, like, out of tragedy or out of a difficult experience, you go and you do something, right? You go and you do something. So other families, like you said, advocating even for simple things like earlier testing for ammonia. Tell us a little bit about the Brave Little One Foundation and why you even started that. Again, you didn't have to do that. You know.
Yeah. So before Pruitt passed away, our community was with us from the start. Like the moment he was in the hospital to, I mean, even now after he's gone, we've had a lot of community support. I mean, like I said earlier, my husband and I are teachers, so our school district rallied around us, our church, like all the things you can imagine, our families.
Wonderful.
And so we got and received a lot of support during that time. So really, ultimately, like, the backbone is to raise awareness for OTC, but we really want to just give back to the community that gave so much to us. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And I love the mission of the Brave Little One. It's so broad. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about it is these are families who are facing all kinds of medical hardships. Why was that important, Jordan?
Like I said, like earlier, like just the day-to-day challenges of being a medical parent, you don't know until you're living it.
Sure.
And so, and any disease, any diagnosis is going to come with those hurdles that you have to overcome, not just OTC specifically.
Right.
So we really just kind of want to help anybody that we can. And, I'd love to help all the OTC families out there, but I haven't met one in South Dakota. So, so that's kind of the reason why we're expanding it to more than just OTC specifically.
And then again, like I said, to me, that's beautifully broad, right? Because you are trying to find other ways to support these families, whatever their hardships are, regardless of whatever particular undiagnosed or rare disease that the family may be dealing with. Tell us a little bit about some of the things and activities that the Brave Little One Foundation has done over the course of its existence.
Yeah, so we started in January is when we were like official.
That's awesome.
And so Pruitt passed away in November, right before Thanksgiving. So
very shortly after,
we jumped on it pretty quickly. I mean, it was just like a no-brainer. Like my husband and I we didn't even really have to have a lot of conversation over it. Like we just knew it was something we wanted to do. And so, a couple things that we do as a foundation is we're both educators. So we do have scholarships available for 2 seniors each year.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah. And then obviously we help and support families facing medical hardship. Our mission is to raise awareness for OTC. So every week I give a fact on Fridays and post it on our social media. And then and then on Wednesdays, I have connected with other families that have been willing to share their journey through their process of OTC. So on Wednesdays, I share stories from other families. And, that's kind of cool because you realize that, you all have the same diagnosis, but everybody's like how it came to be is just like very different.
Oh, sure. Everybody has a very unique story, right? And everybody
very, very different,
fighting their own battles and their own scenarios, right?
Yeah. Like some find out at birth, some find out later. Like it's just incredible. But what I love about it is it's connected families while also raising awareness. So I think that's pretty cool.
That's great. That's great. And if a family wants to interact with you, do they just say to you, like, this is the type of help I'm potentially looking for? And then you see if that falls within your purview, or how does that process work, Jordan?
Yeah. So a lot of times people are like, who ask questions, I try to get if I can't get the answers myself, I reach out to other people that I know do have the answers.
Sure.
When we were going through our journey of OTC, we used the NUCDF as a resource. So that always has a lot of good resources for families facing OTC specifically. Bane's Legacy is another OTC specific, connecting families. So yeah, there's other resources other than just me. So if I don't have the answers, I send them to other places that I know can give them, proper information, or at least I try to get the information for them. So I mean, a lot of these other places have been founded much longer than I have, so I don't have all the answers.
Right. But you're willing to try to find it. And I know I was going to ask you a little bit about how you're connecting with other families and organizations in the rare disease community, like Kelsey and Bane's Legacy. And we're going to talk to Kelsey in a couple of weeks on this show as well. And we've had Kate Vinokoroff on the show, and you have this amazing community and these partnerships that you have built, and that's got to feel pretty cool as well.
It is really cool. I mean, we are the only family in South Dakota that I know that have had a child with OTC, and I'm sure there's somebody out there that we just don't, and maybe, I don't know, but I have not yet connected with someone from South Dakota, so I'm not been able to see someone face to face. So being able to go to the gala this September will be really cool to just, be with other people that speak the same language and actually understand the disease, because usually I'm explaining it to other people because they don't know, they don't have to know, and that's okay. But yeah, getting connected with other people who are in this community and speak this language is really nice, because you don't feel so alone. Yeah,
I bet. And actually, that's a great segue. You just set us up perfectly to talk a little bit more about the gala. So what's that about, and what's happening with that?
Yeah, so the gala is essentially a fundraiser that is showing the research that's happened through Kate's advocacy to find a cure for OTC. And so she asked me to speak at it and share Pruitt's story at it. So yeah.
When where are you heading to do that?
Toronto.
Yeah, I know. I know Kate's up in Toronto, so I was kind of hoping that's where it was. And I follow Kate on social. She's great on social. She's
amazing.
Really, really. I don't know where she finds the time, but
I don't know either. I don't think she sleeps.
She's so engaged. And when we had her on the show, she was so wonderful. And really, she was our introduction into the OTC community, and connected us with you and with Kelsey and others. So
she's very knowledgeable.
We've really been very fortunate for that partnership ourselves, and I'm very excited to hear that you'll be heading to Toronto and doing the gala, and best of luck for you to that. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun.
It'll be cool seeing. I mean, there will be other families that of OTC, that'll be there. So being able to just speak with other families that have gone through it would be really cool, because I mean, I've connected with people online, but I've never been able to speak with them face to face in person. So that'll be really cool.
That'll be great.
Just seeing all the researchers and seeing their perspectives, because I don't know what really goes on behind the scenes, so it'll be kind of cool to see.
I get and see the science side of it as well.
Yeah.
So my big question is does Pryor get to go to Toronto?
No. No. So it'll be me, and then I've convinced my sister to come along with me.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah. Well, I'm sure it'd be a lot.
Chris could, but he coaches football, and he's already missing a football game for a wedding for his brother this season. So I'm like, you probably shouldn't miss two football games. So
plus the boys need their help. They need to have a parent around, right? So
exactly.
What else is on the horizon for Brave Little One and things that you're kind of excited about? I mean, like you said, you've really only been at this for just a short time.
Yeah. So like you mentioned, Bane's Legacy. So her and I are kind of connecting, and The UK has the Check Ammonia campaign. And we're really, like I talked about earlier, very passionate about getting those ammonia levels tested sooner. So we're trying to collaborate with the Check Ammonia campaign and get it in the US. So we're in the first stages of, developing that.
That's really exciting. Yeah.
So not 100% sure exactly what that all looks like yet. We just had our meeting this week. So we're
very
still
fresh.
in
the
brainstorming phases. So that's exciting.
Yeah. And then anything else in terms of the scholarship, or how does that get funded? How does that work?
Yeah. So the scholarship actually is funded from my husband and I personally.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
But yeah, we just kind of have it connected. So that's our donation to the foundation.
Students just apply to it and whatnot. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, we'll do that every year. And they are selected in the spring.
Okay.
And,
when they graduate from high school, or is that kind of what
they do an award ceremony at our school. So they get announced the day of that.
Oh, that's really great. That's great.
And my husband and I don't do any of the evaluating because we've known all the students. So we have a committee that goes through all the applications and then our board votes in agreement and stuff. So
that makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. Yeah. My dad is very involved in his veterans group, and they do lots of scholarships, and for the same reason, they don't evaluate the applications, right?
Yes.
Some of those students they've known, or they know the parents, or they know, so they just kind of recuse themselves from that, and then they just put the money in.
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly what we do.
That's great.
So,
that's great.
Yeah.
And so you're like now in this world of like running a foundation, right? And like how are you, I guess I talk to a lot of parents like you, and there's no work-life balance, right, Jordan? Like you mentioned, your husband's a football coach, you're both teachers, you have 3 children. How do you blend that together with running a foundation? And is it just
I am a night owl.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's happening then. Yeah. I mean, I've been able to do quite a bit, with our teacher schedule. We've had summer off. So I've got the summer, I was able to dedicate a lot of time to the foundation. But now that school's starting back up again, it's going to be, learning how to juggle family, foundation, and school again. But
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can attest to the night owl, because I remember the email you sent me last night, which was like, I think the next day for me, probably late at night for you.
Yes. Yes.
Little time change between where I am and you are geography wise. But well, I can vouch for your night owl, but I also can understand that's probably when your brain can allow you to think, to lock in, right?
Yes, there's no distractions.
just lack of sleep.
Just lack of sleep, but that's where I get my best ideas, apparently. So
that's amazing. If folks want to kind of take away something from your story, Jordan, you talked a little bit about the early ammonia detection as really what sounds like is going to be a cornerstone of a lot of what you're doing, and bringing those UK standards maybe here to the US. But kind of what is one of the 1 or 2 kind of major takeaways you hope that people kind of can pull from this conversation or Pruitt's story?
Yeah. So, I dabbled, in the whole foundation, let me restart. So when Pruitt was around, my whole life was surrounded on being his mom, his advocate, his caregiver. So I was constantly busy. I felt like that was my purpose in life.
Sure.
And so when he passed away, not only did I lose my son, but I kind of felt like I lost a bit of my purpose.
I get that. Yeah.
But after starting this foundation, I've learned that my purpose has now just evolved and kind of shifted. So I guess I hope listeners who might be in a similar situation to me that might have lost a child, that their purpose didn't end. It just might have changed.
Or morphed, or however word you want to use.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's really good.
It's just, it's not necessarily how I envisioned my life to be, but I don't know. And then just like, I've talked a lot about how the community was so supportive.
Sure.
And so I just feel like people need to dive into people.
Yeah. And you felt like you just had no choice, like you said, but to give back, right?
Yeah.
To repay that community. But that's also a very unselfish thing to do.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. If folks want to find the Brave Little One Foundation, Jordan, how do we find you?
Yeah, so we do have a website at thebravelittle1foundation.com. And we are on Facebook and on Instagram, both as The Brave Little One.
Oh, so with the Brave Little One. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, that's good. We want to make sure. And we'll plug up all your socials on this as well, too.
Perfect.
So Jordan, once again, thank you so much for taking just a little bit of time to talk to us about Pruitt's story and the Brave Little One Foundation. Best of luck to you on this, and your husband on this school year.
Yes,
and the boys school year. It's a very exciting time, but I also know it's like the calm before the storm. Like, literally.
Oh yeah. It'll be good to get back into routine again, though.
Yeah, routines are so key, right?
Yes.
I know when my daughter was little, I can absolutely attest to routines are everything. So
yes, they behave so much better with routine.
Well, thank you once again. Best of luck with the gala and your trip to Toronto, and we'll be waiting to hear how that goes. Maybe we can reconnect afterwards. You can tell us all about it.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, Jordan Kruse, thank you so much for being with us today, and we wish you the best of luck.
Yes, thanks for having me.